All right, so we're recording now. I'm gonna do this because I was supposed to do a video last night around 9:30. I didn't do it, so technically I kind of want to go over what happened from if yesterday was Tuesday night. I want to go over what happened Monday night. Monday night being the 29th? No, Monday night being, yeah, the 29th, because this video was on the 26th of Monday, or this video was on Monday night going into Tuesday. I didn't do Tuesday's video to follow up on Monday, so I didn't get to tell myself what happened Monday night. Monday night being the 28th. Okay, so these videos I was watching, I can kind of see where I stopped off. I am noticing that apparently if I play the video, it does not record the audio of it. So what I'm going to do simply is I'm just going to kind of like rewind back to where these candles were. Asian just opened. We're going to start with AUD. But this is where I was kind of starting that video at I start my video at like 2200, or not 2200, but 2130 is where I start my videos at. So that's how I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to recap kind of what it did from these areas, from like the 2000 hour or 20th hour or whatever. But yeah, I had this previous low of the day and price was dropping, and yeah, I was saying to myself I was waiting for it to come to this zone down here, but I was trying to see if there was any way to possibly get into it. Yes, there was a way to get into it, because if I'm looking at this 15-minute, I'm always noticing that these impulse zones will be retapped to some extent. It came back up, retapped, made a double top before tanking. Even if we wanted to get a little bit more anal to find that entry, you could have been looking for entries here. Usually I always look for entries when it comes to the zone. Momentum came in, or volume came in, but the momentum was still going strong, I believe. So if we're doing that, something like that, momentum still going strong. Volume is coming in. We did get this. So it's like break, retest, and follow through. 1 minute transition, but it came all the way back up. And then it did a quasi with that break. I can even draw it real quickly. That break, retest, quasi, follow through. Could have entered right there. I think that was my entry point, because I was in a sell on, oh, I still am in the sell, yeah, 75,615. So this was my sell that I took. Really good sell, good entry, good confirmations. Still in this sell. That was a really, really good one, a really good sell. It did come back. It did. I think I was watching it and I was like, oh, it looks like if Asian was selling off, London might sell off. So I was kind of waiting for it to just come back up towards this zone. It didn't really come up towards the zone fully like I was wanting it to, because if my zone's right here, it came kind of up to it, create a 5-minute ceiling, retap of that 5-minute ceiling. That was a reason to take entry. So that was Monday night going into Tuesday. Tuesday going into Tuesday being the 29th. So if I just play this forward, yeah, it just sold off completely. Then, like Picasso's been teaching, as we get that sell-off, we're eventually going to get some type of buyers to come into the market. So this is why he does his little Fisher Price thing. He puts a little line at the close of this candle, because it's like, okay, if sellers ended right here, is this next candle going to be a bunch of sellers, or is this next candle going to be a bunch of buyers? Depending on where this candle closes, it'll depend on buyers or sellers being in the market. This candle closed bullish. Because it closed bullish on the 4-hour basis, it creates a 4-hour zone. So once this 4-hour zone is created, prices plays out within the zone, but it doesn't really break this floor. And now you can see that this floor is considered now our yesterday's low of the day. It would be considered a low of the day, because that is the end of the day. This would be our low. The market closes at like 1400. Asian session eventually opens up. Asian session opened up and they said, well, this floor is not breaking. Let's take the buy. I did not take this buy, but I was just looking at it to see like how it would have worked out. And this right here is just like perfect. Yeah, like to the T, perfect trade. Momentum trend line, broken. You have this right here. This is a ceiling that gets broken. Broken, retest, double bottom, follow through, retest, follow, break, retest, follow through. That could have been your entry. Like, that was a cheesy one right here. This was a very cheesy trade. You could have literally put 2 pip stop loss, even a 3 pip stop loss to make sure it was a little bit safer. Still caught a 1 to 4, or a 1 to 4, yeah, because I think this goes all the way up. So if I was to go to the 15-minute, I think it goes all the way up. So we're just going to go ahead and play that. Yes, so it went all the way up. You could have caught an easy 14, 15 pips off that. Easy 1 to 5. I didn't catch that one. But regardless, I saw Asian session gave us bullish market flow or bullish order flow. It took us up to these supply zones that were created in New York session. New York and New York Stock Exchange sessions. It was also London's low. Asian created a high. As Frankfurt's soon to open, we see a bunch of volume going towards the sellers. A bunch of selling volume coming in. We kind of break this floor, and it's almost like as if it's about to start a quasi. So if you're looking at it, you could have done something like this nature, blah, 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 thinking the quasi was going to come in. I don't think I took this trade. You could have done something like that. 5-minute head, shoulder. Is it going to make another shoulder? It went above it. We created a 5-minute ceiling. Still kind of a shoulder though. Went above, closed below. Still made a shoulder. 5-minute ceiling. Is this 5-minute ceiling going to get retested? I don't think it ever was retested. Or was it? Oh no, yeah, it was. Yeah, so it was retested. Before it was retested, it took at least from here to here an hour later. So if this was made at 12 or 10:20, this reaction was at 11:50. So right before the market opened. Right before London session opens up, bunch of fucking selling pressure comes in. If you're looking at it, momentum's up obviously, but sellers make that double top, then volume just pushes through. We break 1 floor, 2 floor, 3 floor, 5 floors. 5 floors. That's a lot of volume. Just something you have to remember. The reason I'm saying all this is just so I'm remembering it for myself. I was looking at this and I was like, damn, how the fuck do you get in when there's so much volume coming in that you don't even get a trade from your original entry point? Because the lower it gets, the lower chance you have to jump into it. Market was able to create this 3-minute shoulder. And this 3-minute shoulder was eventually retested perfectly. Retested, created shoulder at midnight 03:06, retested at 12:45, 12:50. Almost an hour later, comes up with a double top, break of that floor. Not even just a double top, but it comes up to this shoulder / impulse zone, creates kind of like a quasi. Boom, boom, boom. Retested the right shoulder. Engulfing colors. It literally engulfs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Yeah, so that's engulfing 1. This one engulfing encloses over 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minutes compared to 1 minute. A lot of volume. You literally could have taken your sell off of that. You could have used a 3-pip stop loss. And let me zoom out. And if I play that out, you would have caught that and it would just tip down. Would have been nice. Your sell would have just been sliding through these floors. Now, okay, yeah, I just went over the whole thing. So that's kind of what happened on AU and with last night's trade. I'm still up in from up here. I didn't catch this one. I had a trade from this area during New York, but agent stopped it out. Happens, I'm not tripping. So now that we are here, I'm kind of waiting for an Asian high to be made. I already deleted the low part of it. I'm going to delete these things just so I can clean up my charts. Boom, 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 boom. Cancel. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to cancel that one too. Cancel that and that. So right now, I'm kind of waiting for my trade window to open up again. Right now, we have broken through all of these sections. I think I can delete this zone because it's not really needed anymore. I guess I can keep it just because I did get a rejection from there. But yeah, this is kind of where we're at. Trading window is definitely not till 2200, so we got a lot of time till then. 4-hour candle closes in 2 hours. That one closed. That one closed bullish. That one closed bearish. This is a 4-hour zone here. Is buyers going to come in for Asian session? Only God knows. Yeah, only God fucking knows if they want to come in to do something. I don't know. Yellow of day is now here. High of the day is now here. Previous low is now here. Previous high is up here. Still breaking through it. We're sitting below our previous low of the day. Wouldn't be surprised if we wanted to continue on with that selling pressure. This video is getting long, but it is what it is. I don't really care because I fucked up yesterday. Now, that's where AU is currently sitting. I wouldn't be surprised if we got some type of bullish pressure to take us up into this little zone here. Just gonna do a little time frame order block there as well. But yeah, it looks like it's kind of doing quasi. Wouldn't be surprised if Asian session gave me an impulse and pushed out and probably gave me some reason to buy. But until then, we will see what it wants to do. This is a 4-hour zone. It might want to retrace to here before falling again, or it's just going to continue falling down to 74.8 level pricing. So that's AU. Very long explanation on AU, but it's okay. Now, DXY. Well, should have done DXY first, but it's okay. DXY busted out of this zone that we started from the beginning of the week. Since it's been giving us a bunch of bullish pressure, it's not surprising to see AU sell off as well as GU sell off from the beginning of the week. If I go back here, I believe I was right here last time I did a VBD. Same thing, it was selling off. I was looking for some type of way to get into the trade before it fell to this bottom part. Currently not in any trades because I was stopped out, but I was in this trade at 38.72. I think that's this one. Yeah, 38.72. I did find an entry. And as I was watching this, Asian session gave us that, what's it called? Asian session was giving us bearish order flow, so I assumed Frankfurt and London might want to continue that order flow. They did. They came up to this 15-minute zone right here perfectly, but a lot of volume came in, so an entry really wasn't possible to find, like, immediately. But, like, as I'm watching this, you're kind of seeing that momentum was still kind of up and it's kind of breaking down. But we can see that these ceilings aren't varying. And even from here, they close above but close right below right after. But that kind of was our quasi. You could have taken your entry up here. I think I had an entry up there too. I definitely had an entry up there. 38,225 or 38,736. 38.9. Yeah, like I've had some high entries, but regardless, 38,736. Yeah, I would have been like right here because I took it off of this fucking quasi. It's just that I should have put my stop loss above the head or like within the head or like above the shoulder at least. Just a good amount so that it wasn't going to stop me out. Yeah, should have put it above the head. That might be a new rule, is trying to put it above the head all the time. But this was the trade I had. It was a really good trade. I just wasn't able to hold because I think, oh, yeah, I wasn't watching my stops. And it eventually came back and hit my stops. But yeah, I took the sell at 38.72. Originally from that quasi, I got stopped out. I got scared, but I was like, let me just still place the trade because I just feel like I have an idea of what it's trying to do, or I think I'm reading it right. It just wasn't time for it to fall yet. Eventually, it did fall out of the sky from that quasi. So I'm going to go to 3, 5. It eventually did fall. I'm trying to see why I have this big zone here. I'm just going to do this real quickly. But yes, it fell out of the sky finally. I didn't do a video yesterday, which I was supposed to be doing. This video would have started after our agent session came in. After agent session came in. So right here, this is where I should have made a video. I could have been in this trade. So this guy comes back from here. New York, impulse zone. Asian retest it. Asian makes this high as well. Once they get to this high, my window's not till like right here. Till 3. Asian comes up to this high. They create a 5-minute ceiling. Once that 5-minute ceiling was retested at 1920, hella momentum or hella volume comes in. I'm still not at my charts during this time, so it's not even relevant. They are selling off. They break this thing or this floor. I'm out here thinking, oh, dang, maybe it's making a quasi off this Asian high. Will it be able to get there? I don't think so. Create another 5-minute ceiling. That ceiling wasn't retested, but it was. Let me pause. Where's the pause button? Yeah, I wasn't on my charts at this time. At 10:15, I was talking to Brian. I recall that vividly. At 10:15, I was talking to Brian. And at that time, a perfect entry did come in. Retest, engulfing, double top, engulfing. Could have taken it just off of confidence. If that's not your ideal entry, though, honestly, it could have been right here off of that one, just because you still see the left head, shoulders. But yeah, I wasn't in these trades, which I could have been in, because if you're watching this Yeah, hold up. Let me go to this 3 minute. If you're watching this 3 minute, it was showing us since Asian high, we were going, momentum was down. Like, it's been showing that we had momentum up until it was broken during Frankfurt. That could have been a nice entry. I was not in it, though. I'm going to continue playing this. That could have been a really good sell. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. This could have been a nice sell all the way down to here. Something like that. Nice, easy 1 to 6. Even a 1 to 7 almost. Not even almost. It did do a 1 to 7. We have this low of the day selling supply or demand zone. It's on a 15 minute, so it means it's strong. Now, when London session came down to this section or this little area, they created a double bottom, almost a quasi. You broke that, retest follow through. That could have been your entry right there, just based off of this quasi. And honestly, if you wanted to use the stop loss, I wouldn't advise 5 pips. 5 pips would have worked though, I think. Yeah, 5 pips would have worked. Adequately would have worked. 5.5 to be safe. You can do that. I'm going to lose this to 5.5, and if that's 5.5, this needs to be at 16.5. Still would have hit your 1 to 3 easily. It's just, I don't like how those, yeah, you'd have to make sure it's just below that shoulder. Type thing. But that's the buy you could have taken because it was at our previous low of the day. Could have taken that buy to go all the way up for 40 pips right here. Easy 1 to 7. I don't trade New York session, but the reason it came up and hit my stop loss because my stop loss was at 38,675. Yep, right here. Literally, my stop loss was a perfect entry for another trade. So now if I play this out, I think this is where price is at now. Oh no, price kept tanking, yeah. It's 12 o'clock, yeah. So this is where price is at now. I don't trade New York session. I kind of can trade New York because I'm always up nowadays. But New York session came back up to this London shoulder where our original sell was at. Once it got there, you wouldn't take that. You would have taken your 5 minute, made a ceiling, and see what it does once it interacts at 405. At 405, it is interacting with this area. I'm trying to see if it was any like, yeah, that right here is a momentum trend line that was broken. And now in the opposite direction, from here to here to here to there, momentum is slowly changing downward. But you see break of floors, break of floors, break of floors. So anywhere in this zone would have been an ideal entry for you before falling back down, because this is a higher time frame zone as well. Yeah, this is a higher time frame zone that was broken, retested, follow through. And now we are where we are at. We are at this 4-hour zone. We have 2 hours until the next candle closes. This candle is going to probably close bullish, meaning buyers are coming back into the market. So by Asian session, we could possibly see some type of buyers come in. I'm going to set an alert to 3,800 just because I want to see what will happen when it does hit this little zone again. This video is definitely long, but it is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and do this right here. I'm going to pull this out till 3 o'clock because that's kind of when my trade session ends. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go like that. And we'll wait till it gets there. But I think Asian session might give us some buys out of here before we sell off. I don't know. Or if we, I don't even know if we going to sell off. But we'll see what it wants to do. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do. But we'll see what it wants to do when Asian session starts to come in. And if it wants to interact with this floor and possibly start to buy up again. With AU, same thing. It's at this impulse zone. So who knows if it wants to like push through. We did have a 4-hour candle that engulfed. So that's volume. So it could still fall. Potentially this could still continue falling. But we have to see what it wants to do during Asian session and then what it wants to do for London. DXY, very overly extended. I wouldn't be surprised if this wanted to fall back down into one of these fucking zones that it has. Be here, here, or even down here. So that's where DXY currently is at. We'll see what Asian session wants to bring us. If DXY wants to continue pushing towards this next zone, AU can push to this next zone, and GU could potentially push to this zone. I'm going to take these things off, and I'm going to do that. Take that off. Let's go to the 23-hour chart firstly so I can kind of see it. Okay, let me go to the 8-hour. Yeah, it's just a big zone right here. And it comes from this zone. So it wouldn't be surprising if I did something like this. And call that an order block. So if it wanted to fall, it could continue falling. But we'll see what it wants to do when Asian comes around and during our actual session. So I think that's about it. We're going to go ahead and call it. This was a long video. I apologize to myself, but it is the way it has to go.